board of the Middlesex County Administration Building at least 48 hours in advance of this meeting, which shall be entered into the minutes of this meeting. Participants on this call will have the ability to speak during the public portions of this meeting. Members of the public must press *9 to virtually raise their hand to speak. When your hand is raised, you'll be placed in the queue or virtual line to speak during the public portion. The moderator will ask participants with raised hands to unmute themselves. When this happens, the phone operator will instruct the participant to press *6 to unmute themselves. You will know when you have been unmuted and it is time to speak when you hear the operator say, "You are unmuted." When a participant has either completed their comments or told their allocated 5 minutes are up, they'll be placed on mute by the moderator.
Can we have a roll call, please?
County Commissioner Armwood,
Here.
County Commissioner Ascona-Barber,
Here.
County Commissioner Kenny,
Here.
County Commissioner Koppel,
Here.
County Commissioner Nara,
Here.
County Commissioner Tamaro,
Here.
County Commissioner Director Rios.
Okay, minutes for approval?
Minutes of March 4th, 2021 at 7:00 p.m.
Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Roll call?
County Commissioner Ascona-Barber,
Yes.
County Commissioner Kenny,
Yes.
County Commissioner Koppel,
Yes.
County Commissioner Nara,
Yes.
County Commissioner Tamaro,
Yes.
County Commissioner Deputy Director Armwood. County Commissioner Deputy Director Armwood. County Commissioner Deputy Director Armwood.
Let's give the deputy director 30 seconds here.
Last year, we received CARES Act funding from the federal government. Subsequently, the Board of Commissioners allocated $30 million for a small business relief program and $30 million.
Commissioner Koppel? This is Commissioner Kenny.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know, but your mic is open.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Has anyone been able to reach the deputy director?
Commissioner, I'm doing that now.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I apologize. Having some technology issues here. We are on reports of commissioners. I guess I will go ahead. Hello?
Excuse me, Deputy Director. We just
Yeah.
need your vote for the minutes from
Yeah.
March 4th. Yeah, okay.
Okay. Reports of commissioners. From the Department of Business Innovations, Education.
Deputy Director?
Yes.
Commissioner Kenny here. I believe what the clerk was saying is we left before we lost you before we voted for the minutes of the meeting. Am I correct, Amy?
Well,
Yes, everybody voted except for Deputy Director Armwood.
There we go.
yes, I said yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I apologize.
No, that's okay. I apologize for the technology issue. From the Department of Business Innovations, Education and Opportunity, from the Arts Institute. The Arts Institute is planning to announce its Summer Art in the Park series in May. This series will run in all the parks across the county for 8 Saturdays in July and August. Also, we are looking forward to reopening the East Jersey Old Town Village to the public in the summer. This will be done ensuring compliance with safety and social distancing protocols. From the Office of Career Opportunity, I am pleased to report that the Office of Career Opportunity is involved in ongoing staff training and development activities as they diligently prepare to address the changing job market trends in our new economy. From the Superintendent of Schools, we are pleased to announce that all our county schools will resume in-person learning in April. Teachers are now in the 1B class of the state's vaccination schedule and have direct access to all vaccination sites throughout the county. From the Office of Cooperative Extension Services, I am pleased to report that the Office of Cooperative Extension Services has continued to expand virtual training with topics related to farmland preservation and agricultural innovation. Cooperative Extension Services was recently awarded a grant from the USDA Beginner Farmer and Rancher Development Program. Funding will support our local and statewide efforts to develop training modules and link beginner farmer students with business opportunities. The program will help to create agricultural business incubator sites in Middlesex County and throughout the state. The next Farmers Training Series will be held at the Central Jersey Vegetable Growers Virtual Meeting to be held on March 24th, 2021 via Zoom. It is expected that about 150 to 200 farmers will participate in the event, which will be held from 2:00 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. The series provides pesticide and fertilizer recertification credits to help our local farming community maintain their licenses. And that concludes my report. County Commissioner.
Thank you, Deputy Director. Before I read my report, I also would like to comment on the passing of Freeholder Blanquita Valenti. Blanquita's legacy will live with us for many years to come. I had the privilege to call her a mentor, a neighbor, and most importantly, a friend. She will be missed. My report for tonight, 2021 annual planning process for youth services will begin mid-April. The process will help to identify any service needs, gaps, or trends, as well as aid in program and services for 2022. Additional details in upcoming weeks. Throughout the school year, the Human Services Office coordinates monthly McKinney-Vento homeless school liaisons trainings. On average, 70 school personnel from throughout the county participate in each training session. The next training session is scheduled for March 26th. We will be collaborating with Mamas County, and the topic of the training will be the human trafficking. Save the day for our next McFooks event. We will be having a drive-by food drive at the Lowe's on Centennial Avenue in Piscataway on Saturday, March 27th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Drive up, pop your trunk, and our volunteers will remove the donations. We also have a drive-by food drive event scheduled at the Monroe Park and Ride on April 17th from 10 to 2 p.m. You can find more information about these events and other ways to get involved by visiting the county website. And that concludes my report, Deputy Director.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Kenny.
Thank you, Deputy Director. We have an additional $4 million from the NJDOT freight funds have been secured for the Woodbridge Avenue corridor in Edison and the Cranberry South River Road corridor in South Brunswick. The funds will be used to improve communications between the signals. That would be advanced traffic management system, minor widening and geometric improvements for the multiple signals will also be included. Also, public construction bids for the replacement of various traffic signals throughout the county have recently been received. The projects are Oak Tree Road and Matheny Way in Edison, Main Street and Mary Avenue in Edison, New Dover Road and Wood Avenue, which is on the border of Edison and Woodbridge, New Brunswick Avenue and Carlton Ave in Piscataway, South Main Street and East Mill Road in East Brunswick, and Riders Lane Crossing Drive in Milltown. These projects are anticipated to start this spring so as to capture the summer-fall construction season. State aid will be utilized for all of these projects. And just as we talk about projects and construction, one of the hardest things that we're having happen right now, or that the difficulty that not only in the type of construction that we do, but in the private sector also, is the supply chain. These contractors sometimes have difficulty acquiring the material that they need to do these projects, so that may play a part in the scheduling of time and how long the projects take. And then on another note, I just want to mention that I received an email last month from a resident who was reaching out on behalf of another resident to express their recent dealings with the surrogate's office that we have here in Middlesex County. The comments that were passed on to me were how wonderful the office is, how caring and dedicated the employees are, especially the employee that they were dealing with, who was responding to their issue or their original email or call over a weekend last month. They were taking care of the business to make sure that it was done. And during these difficult times, I know a lot of our employees have gone out of their way to make sure that we keep the county running and the county business to make sure that it's getting done. And this is just another one of those examples. But in this case, the employee was retiring the next week. And so I just want to give a shout out to Eileen Weber, who took the time and was working on weekends to make sure that the surrogate's office work was getting done. So thank you and congratulations on her retirement, and I wish her the best in the future. And so I am going to just say that in regards to Commissioner Freeholder Blanquita Valente, talked about at the church service for her, you know, Blanquita was all about family, how she could help, and what she could do to make the world that we live in a better place. And we could use a lot more of that in today's world. And she's going to be sadly missed. I'm glad that I had a short period of time that I got to know her while being here on this board. And that's all I have, Director. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Kenny. Commissioner Koppel?
Yes, thank you, Deputy Director.
Last year, we received CARES Act funding from the federal government, and subsequently, the Board of Commissioners allocated $30 million for a small business relief program and $31 million for a municipal assistance program. I'm happy to report that as next week, we are closing both of these very successful programs. Working closely with every municipality in Middlesex County, we were able to determine the level of reimbursable expenses incurred by municipalities as well as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic and assist with the distribution of $31 million available from the CARES Act. The board is very proud of having assisted local businesses in every municipality remain open during this last year. In total, we awarded 1,038 businesses in the county an average of $25,000 each. We helped 239 restaurants. 165 personal care businesses, 80 professional and legal offices, 74 educational institutions, 66 medical and dental offices, 53 childcare facilities, 49 entertainment venues, 30 automotive care garages, and 282 other entities encompassing a wide spectrum of industries. I want to thank the board members for their support and cooperation, as well as all of those that worked hard in order for these two programs to be a huge success. And that concludes my report. And I just wanted to sort of echo what the other commissioners said about Blanquita Valente, and she was a trailblazer and a warm and loving, wonderful person who will be missed by all the people that she touched. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Koppel. Commissioner Nara.
Thank you, Deputy Director. From the Office of Health Services, the office continues its free COVID vaccination and testing clinics. We are aware that many residents are anxiously awaiting receiving the vaccine. We are asking that you continue to be patient, as the demand is much greater than the supply we receive by the state. But I can assure you that we are administering all allotments of the vaccine received each week, and we are not holding back any doses. We have received word that our vaccine supplies should increase within the next few weeks, and we're prepared to expand our vaccination clinics accordingly. We have made significant strides in our fight against COVID in Middlesex County since this time last year, but we are not yet the victor in this battle. In the interim, we're asking all residents to continue COVID safety protocols such as wearing face coverings, washing or sanitizing your hands, practicing social distancing, and avoiding large gatherings. We will emerge from these troubling times stronger if we all work together. From the divisions of solid waste and recycling, as I indicated at our last meeting, our divisions will be commencing our 2021 solid waste and recycling programs. As a reminder, all these events are free to county residents. As in 2020, the county will continue its safety COVID protocols during all events until we are COVID-free. These measures are outlined on the county's website, but if you have specific questions on any program, please call 732-745-4170. Our staff is always available and prepared to provide help. Our upcoming events include Sunday, March 21st, from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m., the divisions will host its first household hazardous waste collection of the 2020 calendar year. This free event will be held at Middlesex County College, located at 2600 Woodbridge Avenue in Edison. Residents should enter via the Mill Road entrance to the college. Residents may bring paints, pesticides, herbicides, and other household hazardous waste items for safe disposal and recycling. The following week, on Saturday, March 27th, the divisions will conduct their first paper shred event of the season. The shred will be conducted at the Old Bridge Municipal Parking Lot, located at 1 Old Bridge Plaza in Old Bridge from 9 a.m. to noon, or until the truck is full. Last year, we experienced a larger than normal number of residents taking advantage of this free system. This year, we have made modifications to our events to handle greater resident participation and anticipated volume of materials. On this day, county residents can bring paper materials for shredding and recycling, thus protecting personal information and identity. Please do not include metals or other non-paper items, as those will damage and disable the shredding devices. And since this occurred at one of our shredding events, I'm going to ask everyone to be careful and go through their boxes to make sure they haven't inadvertently left something that is metal or heavy plastic that could cause a disruption. And finally, I too want to just acknowledge the great loss that we on this board and in the county and for all the residents have suffered with the loss of freeholder Blanquita Valente. her generosity of spirit was boundless. And the way she directed the Department of Social Services is a credit to her and how she lived her life, and she will be greatly missed. And so I wanted to acknowledge that. But I also wanted to take a brief moment to just comment on something that you mentioned, Deputy Director, about the increase in anti-Asian violence throughout this country. And we have one of the most diverse counties in the state, and I would argue around the country. And I just want our East Asian, because predominantly the events that have been happening in the last several months have been aimed at East Asians. And I want our East Asian brothers and sisters and county residents to know that all of the communities in Middlesex stand with them, and we will do whatever we can to not only protect them, but to lift their spirits in this incredibly, incredibly disheartening and terrifying time when people are being attacked, and whether it's by words or deeds, in the most horrific ways. And it's very scary. I know so many people who are not only scared for their own safety, but for their children and for the children to watch these things happening. It's a terrible, terrible stain on our country right now. And the only way we can deal with it is to stand up as communities and say, not here, not anywhere where we live, and let people know that they have our support. That's all I have tonight, Deputy Director.
Thank you, Commissioner Nara, and agree with you wholeheartedly. Commissioner Tamara.
Thank you, Deputy Director. Our picnic reservations update. With spring approaching this weekend, a reminder that opening day for picnic reservations 2021 is scheduled for Thursday, April 15th, 2021. Information regarding our new electronic reservation process will be on our website by April 1st. In addition, existing customers who receive an email with their household number and temporary password to assist with our electronic reservation process by April 1st. I'm happy to announce that our softball leagues will be seeking teams to the Middlesex County Parks and Recreation Adult Slow Pitch Softball Leagues, with sessions planned for both spring and fall. Please check out our website for the next registration and information. Upcoming announcements, please stay tuned on our website for upcoming announcements regarding our Middlesex County volunteer events, concerts, and other programs. I too want to acknowledge Blanquita Valente. She was an inspiration to everybody she came in contact with, and she truly loved being on a freeholder board. You can tell by all her accomplishments, with the social services, and she really had a passion for her job and for the people she served. May God bless her, and may she rest in peace. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Tamara, and I just want to echo all the comments that have been made about our colleague, Blanquita Valente. And I really thought the most impressive thing about her legacy is really the creation of the Puerto Rican Action Board, to be able to create something that will long outlive you and go on to service thousands of people, regardless of their background. To have that type of legacy is something I think we all strive for. Blanquita was a very talented public servant. It's often mentioned that she was the first Latina on the Freeholder Board, what was then the Freeholder Board. What's often not pointed out was she was the first person of any minority community on this board. So she was truly a trailblazer for a lot of us. Underrated sense of humor. She will be dearly missed. We will miss our colleagues. And again, I echo everything that Commissioner Nara said about the tragedies that are going on around our country against the Asian community, and they just need to know we stand in solidarity with them. Mr. Kelso, any resolutions to be added?
There are none.
Any resolutions to be amended?
There are none.
Any resolutions to be held?
There are none.
Any resolutions to be voided?
Yes, Deputy Director, we have one resolution to be voided. That's Resolution 21-383, since the signature authorization that's identified in that resolution is no longer necessary.
Okay. Can we have a motion to void the resolution?
So moved.
Second.
Second? Roll call?
County Commissioner Ascona Barber,
Yes.
County Commissioner Kenny,
Yes.
County Commissioner Koppel,
Yes.
County Commissioner Nara,
Yes.
County Commissioner Tamara,
Yes. Yes.
County Commissioner County Commissioner Deputy Director Armwood.
Yes. Okay, before we go to the public discussion, I'd just like to read the following statement. I would like to thank all those joining us on the call tonight for your attendance. Before we begin the first public portion, I would like to state that we will utilize advanced capabilities in technology to conduct this meeting. In order to keep decorum of this meeting and allow those wishing to speak to do so uninterrupted, the following instructions, which the clerk of the board recited earlier, apply to this meeting. Participants on this call will have the ability to speak during the public portions of this meeting. Before participants can unmute themselves, they must press *9 to virtually raise their hand. When your hand is raised, you will be placed in the queue or virtual line to speak during the public portion. The moderator will ask participants with raised hands to unmute themselves. When this happens, the phone operator will instruct the participant to press *6 to unmute themselves. You will know when you have been unmuted and it is time to speak when you hear the operator say, "You are unmuted." When a participant has either completed their comments within the 5-minute time limitation or are told their allocated 5 minutes are up, they will be placed on mute by the moderator. To recap these updates, you must press *9 to raise your hand, then press *6 when the operator tells you to do so in order to speak during any of the public portions. This first public portion is solely for agenda items only. This is only for agenda items only. There will be a public portion towards the end of the meeting for any general comments. Moderator, will you open the floor for public comments, please?
Yes, Deputy Director. I'll allow the first individual.
Okay. Could you please state your name and address for the record, please?
Christo South Edison. Am I recognized?
This is Mr. Macropolis?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Yes, sir.
I'm
Please, you are recognized.
I'm not home right now. I'm at a BOE meeting, so I don't have the agenda in front of me. Do we have any resolutions for Edison?
That are specific to Edison? I'm sure there's somewhere around here. There's probably a couple of them. We would need your specific question regarding the specific resolution.
Okay, I'll just come back during public comments, but before I do, I just want to say I had a resolution in there to take care of the Silver Lake problem in South Edison for next time, and I'll see you during public comments.
Thank you, Mr. Macropolis. Moderator, is there anyone else?
Yes, Deputy Director. I'll allow that individual now.
Yes, hello, Deputy Director. Can you hear me? Hello? So I can't hear you, but I did want to ask about number 344, the hiring of the new treasurer.
Charlie, this is Commissioner Kenny. Charlie, if you could hold on for 1 minute while we
Surely.
try to reconnect the deputy director.
I'm here.
All righty.
I'm here.
Hello.
Yep. Hello.
Hi, so it's me, Charlie Cradaville from New Brunswick, editor of New Brunswick Today. I guess I actually did want to know about this voided resolution. Can you just tell me who the consultant is?
Mr. Polina?
Yeah, if Ron Sens on the call, I believe it's PEI who's doing the work relative to the removal of underground tanks. Just want to confirm that.
Deputy Commissioner Ron Sender, that is correct. There's a signature required to, for the DEP to address some underground tanks, and we're working on that.
All right, thanks. I'll move on to 344, appointing a new Middlesex County treasurer. Can you tell me if Mr. Pruitt's still in that role, and if so, why is he, going to leave? And can anybody speak to, this new person, what their credentials are? I understand they've worked with the county before.
Deputy Director, if I could answer that question.
Please.
Okay, so Joe Pretty, who was our CFO, has also held the title of the treasurer. In the past, that title usually gone to someone else who works with and under Joe. The individual has been working with the county, has gotten all the essential qualifications, and we are moving that individual into the role of being treasurer on that responsibility. But it's just an expansion of his existing role.
Okay, so promoting from within, but Mr. Pruitt is going to stay on as CFO.
That is correct.
Okay, and can you tell me who was the treasurer before him?
Joe Pretty was the treasurer before him. He held both titles.
Yeah. Right, but no, before Mr. Pruitt, I'm just trying to.
I believe. Joe Pretty, the name eludes me right now.
Mr. Pruitt?
It was Jim Phillips. That had
right,
the title.
right. James Phillips. Okay, thank you. The other ones I want to ask about are the Code Blue grants. I see Perth Amboy and New Brunswick getting about $90,000 each. I guess I'm a little concerned about New Brunswick here because, we're already at the, basically at the end of this grant period. So if, 90,000 had not been spent so far on the program this winter, will the city have to give the money back? Does it carry over to next year? Because I'm just concerned the city's been very dodgy and seems to have avoided, its responsibility for Code Blue, and I don't want next year for the same thing to repeat, where they're going to claim that they don't have any money because this grant is only through April 30th of 2021. Could someone address that? Will any funds be available for next year? What happens if they, don't use all the funds during this grant period that's about to end?
Ms. Lewis, could you answer that?
Sure, Charlie. It's Melissa Lewis from Human Services. The grant with New Brunswick is for this current season, which is October through, the beginning of November through April. It's new state funding that we got for the first time. And the way our contracts work with agencies, we don't just give them $90,000. They have to bill for it once this contract is in place. So we look at all the expenses and make sure that they're appropriate before they're given any money. So if they don't use all the money, this money will be returned to the state unless other communities might need it. The governor did put additional Code Blue money into the 2022 budget. So we're hopeful that we'll get additional money once that's approved this year. But we don't know that yet from the state.
Okay, and just to clarify,
this allocation came to us in December of this past year. So we're hopeful that we'll get advance notice to set things up earlier with the two communities this coming year.
Great, and to be clear, a condition of accepting the grant for both communities is that they will operate a Code Blue warming center every night that the temperature is predicted to go below 32 degrees. Is that correct?
Right. Yes, it'll be whatever the Code Blue legislation dictates. As of right now, it's 32 degrees.
Okay, good. It's always good to follow the law. That's I think all that I had to ask about tonight. Thank you. I'll be back for public comment.
Thank you, Mr. Cradaville. Moderator, is there anyone else wishing to speak?
Deputy Director, not at this time.
Can I have a motion to close?
Motion to close the public portion?
Second.
Can I have all those in favor? Aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Mr. Kelso, any items to be removed from the consent agenda and voted on separately?
I do not believe anyone has identified any, so the answer is no.
Okay.
Then, if there are none, and I assume there are none, a motion would then be in order to adopt the consent agenda consisting of resolution numbers 21-344 through resolution 21-404, excluding resolution 21-383, which has been voided.
Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second? Roll call?
County Commissioner Ascona Barber,
Yes.
County Commissioner Kenny,
Yes.
County Commissioner Koppel,
Yes.
County Commissioner Nara,
Yes.
County Commissioner Tamara,
Yes.
County Commissioner Deputy Director Armwood.
Yes. Okay, before we go to the public discussion, again, I'll just read this statement. Participants on this call will have the ability to speak during the public portion of this meeting. Before participants are able to unmute themselves, they must press *9 to virtually raise their hand. When your hand is raised, you will be placed in the queue or virtual line to speak during the public portion. The moderator will ask participants with raised hands to unmute themselves. When this happens, the phone operator will instruct the participant to press *6 to unmute themselves. You will know when you have been unmuted and it is time to speak when you hear the operator say you are unmuted. When a participant has either completed their comments within the 5-minute time limitation or are told their allocated 5 minutes are up, they will be placed on mute by the moderator. So to recap these updates, you must press *9 to raise your hand, then press *6 when the operator tells you to do so in order to speak during the public portion. Now, moderator, will you please open up the floor, please?
Yes, Deputy Director, I'll allow the first individual.
Okay. Could you please state your name and address for the record, please?
Yes. Hello again, Charlie Cradaville, New Brunswick Today. I do also want to start by offering sincere condolences to everyone who knew and loved Blanquita Valenti. I did get to know her on her time on the city council as well as on this board, and she will certainly be missed. I do also have some serious concerns about the establishment and how they are continuing to chip away at our democracy here. Quite frankly, Kevin McCabe and the Democratic organization here in Middlesex is a disgrace to democracy. Not only did they make a move to try to cancel this summer's county committee elections, and that would affect every single Democrat in Middlesex County, robbing us of our right to select our neighborhood committee representatives and robbing us of our right to run for those offices and challenge that establishment. But they also violated their own constitution over these past 2 weeks, holding conventions to select candidates for the fall. The Constitution is crystal clear that all registered Democrats can participate in those conventions, but for the third straight year, Kevin McCabe is keeping me out of these conventions because I'm a journalist, and that is discrimination against me because of what I do. And quite frankly, it's behaving like someone who's guilty. And maybe he doesn't want to have to address questions about the ex-mayor of Middlesex, who was just the latest county mayor from that party to be sentenced for his crimes. But Kevin is not a serious person if he is going to violate that Constitution to keep reporters out. No business calling himself a Democrat. That's something that Donald Trump would be proud of. That's a GOP tactic. And speaking of GOP tactics, voter suppression is alive and well in the Democratic Party as well as the Republican Party. Unfortunately, I learned this week that for our school election in New Brunswick, the New Brunswick City Clerk and the Middlesex County Board of Elections want to eliminate 6 of our polling locations, including ones that serve many of our low-income communities, public housing, communities of color, and a lot of the same areas that are being robbed of their community school by the Lincoln Annex scheme involving all of y'all, Robert Wood Johnson, Rutgers, and just about everybody in the power structure. Now you're taking away people's ability to vote. You're making it harder to vote, and that is voter suppression, plain and simple. It is a shame, and I'm asking you to please intervene. Please speak up about this, because mark my words, they're starting with New Brunswick, but soon they will start to do this kind of shenanigans in your community. They will start cutting back on voting places. They'll start trying to sell and close public schools. If they get away with it here, they're going to continue to chip away at our democracy, chip away at public education, and continue to amass millions of dollars in wealth and hold that over the poor people of this county. We deserve better. The establishment is failing us. And so I'm asking you, maybe you could respond now to the concern about closing nearly half of the voting places in New Brunswick, but also maybe if you feel like I do, that that's a bad precedent to set and a bad thing to do, that maybe behind the scenes you can speak up about it, speak to the New Brunswick City Clerk, or speak to the Middlesex County Board of Elections. I know they have a meeting coming up on April the 1st, and I encourage anyone who is appalled at these tactics to speak up. Mr. Deputy Director, do you have any thoughts on that? Would you like to respond to any of what I said there?
Certainly. I'll turn to Mr. Kelso, because I believe we did some research on the polling issue.
Yes, Deputy Director, it's my understanding that the Board of Elections, the municipal clerks, and also the school board, particularly in New Brunswick, reviewed the polling locations. I know there were issues with regard to being able to secure and qualify enough poll workers who were willing to work in the restrictions, of course, that are necessary as a result of the pandemic. And all those locations were vetted for suitability, for being able to be properly monitored and cleaned, and could serve as appropriate polling places. And most importantly, New Jersey statutes specifically permit the consolidation of polling places. And under these conditions, we are, for this particular election, all the appropriate boards, the Board of Elections, the Clerk's Office, and the School Board, all concurred that the consolidation from 14 to 8 locations was appropriate for this election.
Okay, well, I'm going to have to respectfully disagree with Mr. Kelso, and I think if the matter's in the wrong hands, if Tom Kelso is the one defending it.
Thank you, Mr. Cradaville. Moderator, is there anyone else in the queue?
There is, Deputy Director. I'll allow
Okay.
it.
Hey, Director Armwood?
Don't exalt me to that level yet, Mr.
Oh, no.
This is Mr. I'm still Deputy Director, sir. Please, don't cause controversy.
My fault. I'm in 2 meetings at once, so I forgot to recognize myself, actually. Christos South Edis. All right, I just want... Yeah.
You're fading out on us, Mr. Macropolis. Okay.
No, this is there.
You're in and out, Mr. Macropolis.
Where's
Mr.
Director
Macropolis?
Rios?
Director Rios should be here probably at the next meeting. Your feelings have been relayed to him, and he appreciates your concern. He has checked in with the board, and he understands that you miss pestering him, as you said.
Well, I figured out why he's not showing up. If he doesn't show up to the meeting, I can't accuse him of stealing any money, so that could be one reason.
That's a very high-level bar to accuse someone of, sir, Mr. Macropolis.
Yeah, I know. Where's
Yeah.
Millie? Is the sheriff in today's meeting?
I don't believe she is in attendance.
Not in attendance? All right. I'll wait for the next meeting then after that. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to say, that the freeholders, they should give some money over to Edison, help South Edison, Silver Lake. All I have to say is it's election season, and Governor Murphy's going to have to go up to get reelected. So he's going to have to start handing out stuff. And Governor Murphy said he can't win without Middlesex County, without Kevin McCabe. So there you go. It's time for us to start demanding stuff from Governor Murphy. Who knows? He's probably not even going to win the primary, but now is the time to get whatever you need from him. For example, Deputy Director Armwood, I had a meeting with Mayor Lankey, and I'm like, he's on his way out. I might as well ask to be on the ethics committee. So, yeah, because, he puts me on it. There can't be no backlash about it. He won't be mayor no more. So, yeah, that's what we got to do. We got to go to Governor Murphy and start demanding all the money we want. Because I'm going to tell you this, Edison, we're not going to vote for Governor Murphy if we don't get what we want. So it's really not McCabe's decision anymore. Edison, we do have over 150 committee seats. So we're going to use that for our best interest wisely because and I'm going to let Edison know. We're sick of Kevin McCabe. We're sick of the Woodbridge Democrats eating up everything. They eat everything up. We pay most of the taxes in this county, and every time we ask for something back, we never get anything back. Always being spit in the face. Look at Joe Coyle. He was the most qualified to be assemblyman, and he completely got screwed over for no reason whatsoever. He got screwed over twice. The first time he got screwed over is because they said, he's just some white guy. We're not going to vote for some white guy in Edison. I'm sorry, but Sterling Stanley, you had no platform. You're a racist. You did a call to arms against Edison. And Deputy Director Armwood, I'm so happy that Piscataway wasn't a part of it because I love Piscataway. I went to Piscataway Votech, and I'll tell you what, he is right. They have a call to arms. They declared war on Edison, and we will respond kindly. Every time one of their people want to get elected,